Hey everyone, it's Evan Belcanto. Happy New Year. It's hard to believe that it's 2022. I'm filming this on New Year's Day, so I hope everyone had a wonderful New Year's Eve and are safe and healthy and have all of your resolutions ready to be started. I'm definitely a person that loves to do New Year's resolutions. I don't necessarily follow them. But I do love to set them up. I think it's fun, specifically to set goals for yourself, whether that be financial goals or like I always do my Goodreads goal for the year. And I chose 30 books again. And I know I usually read more than 30 books, but to me, 30 books is a really good, approachable outcome. I know for some people, it might be 10 books, it might be 12, it might be 20. But 30, I think, is a good number for me. I looked it up one time to see what the average number of books a person read a year was. And I think it was between 12 to 15. And I thought, if I read double that, then I feel like I'm a good English major graduate. That's just sort of how I thought about it. But yeah, I set my goal for 30 books. But that's not really the topic of this. Well, sort of. I just finished my first book of the year. I guess it is sort of correlated. Excuse me. And I technically started this at the end of December, but with the holidays and a lot of travel and wrapping, lots of wrapping, I didn't finish it till today. And I kind of wanted to wait and finish a book on the first of the year just so then I already had one ready to mark off towards my 30. And let me just say, this book I got because of a lot of YouTubers talked about it. And I read a Katee Roberts book last year, hard to believe. And this was a mafia romance. It was the start of a new series. And I liked the cover. I thought it was really cool. And it was fairly short. It was 279 pages. And you can also get this on Kindle. I bought the paperback. There's some books I might buy from Katee for my Kindle just because of, covers and stigmas, unfortunately. I think I want to read the Taboo series, but I know that might not be okay to have out in front of some people. So, but this one, even though it has sort of as what I call like a church curse word, because you hear bastard like in the Bible. I call them a church curse. Some people will be whatever about it, but I don't care. It's a book. I'm enjoying it. And that was a long dilution for me saying this was a 6-star book for me. So I was watching fairly new video from Jen of the Book Refuge, and she implements a 6-star read. And she said that she does her 5 stars in the same rating sort of as I do it. Or if I'm really loving the story, interested, I give it a 5-star. I'm not very too picky about my books. 2021 was a nice year in the fact that I didn't DNF anything. There were some books I wanted to DNF, but I didn't. I stuck through and finished them. And I thought that Jen's reasoning for implementing a 6-star read was helpful because I had a lot of 5-star reads for the year 2021. So I'll go off the bat and say this was a 6-star read. I loved every page of this book. It was my first time reading a dark romance and also a mafia romance, and I am completely hooked on both. I want more. I actually went ahead and bought another mafia romance that I'll talk about soon, but I love the story. So it starts off, I'm trying not to do too many spoilers, but this is a spin-off series, and the series of this is called The Scandalous Scions, and a scion is, I think, when you get to important families, and it's the children of those. I remember that from, I love this, it's kind of a junk food show, but I love it. Southern Charm, it's on Bravo. It's kind of like Men and Women in Charleston, South Carolina, and I live in South Carolina, so I'm sort of drawn to that aspect of the show. But they were talking about Catherine was a scion or whatever, so I need the word. I think it's just like the child of two important families, signifying a strong relationship, whatever. But I love the story. So we have our heroine, Rose Romanoff, which in my head, I didn't love that her name was Rose. I don't know. That just kind of didn't seem like a good, well, that sounds rude, but I wish her name was like Natalia or something. I don't know. In my head, she was Natalia Rose Romanoff. I don't know. Seemed like a short name for an important woman. Does that make sense? I don't know. I just feel like Natalia Romanoff was, I don't know. But Rose was our heroine. And our hero was Dante. But at the beginning of the story, he's known as Jackson. And it starts off with Rose having a meeting with her mother and father. And usually it's just like, I think they have like a Sunday lunch as with the family, but they've got some business to discuss. And it turns out that the man that Rose has been dating for about 3 months, who she knows as Jackson, who's a bartender in Brooklyn, is not actually, in fact, a bartender from Brooklyn. He is Dante Verducci, who is the nephew of the Italian mob in LA. So they're like, totally against one another. They're not full on Romeo and Juliet, but you definitely don't want to mix with that side of the mob. So it's not like horrific news. It wasn't like we're going to war over this, but it was like, you can't be doing this. Like, don't do it at all. And so Rose is, as we can see from the title, she's betrayed by the bastard. So she goes out to seek revenge on Jackson, aka Dante. And they have a conflict, and she sort of lets him escape, which usually she shoots to kill. But he escapes. Well, to sort of smooth things over with the families, her mother and father say, you know what, you need to marry Romeo. I think his name was like Caparinelli. And he's sort of like, he must be Italian with Caparinelli, but he was I think he was the head of that sort of Italian mob in the New York scene. This takes place mostly in New York and Northern California. But Rose agrees to the arranged marriage to help settle the family and the drama. And Dante is not having it. He wants his woman. He is more in love with Rose now than he was when he was Jackson. And I don't know if they made it clear if he knew that she was Rose Romanoff. I think he did, but I don't think he dated her for a malicious reason. I might need to ask someone that's also read this. Was there sort of a malicious or a reason to why he dated Rose in the first place? I wasn't sure if I caught that. I might have overlooked it. But either way, he ends up kidnapping her from her own wedding to Romeo Caparinelli. I have to look up his name. But so yeah, there is a kidnapping on the wedding. This was just such a cool story. I absolutely loved it. I love to watch soap operas. I think they're so much fun. They're just like a fun escapism. And I think escapism is a really important thing that we need right now as individuals with our current living situation. So to me, it kind of reminded me of scenes of like Days of Our Lives. That's the what's it called? Soap opera I like the most. I like Days of Our Lives. I don't watch it all the time. You can sort of miss a couple years and pick right back up to what's going on. But it kind of gave me a soap opera aspect, but in a very good way. In that high intensity, fast drama that is really fun. And I really like this story. I will say it was very explicit. I gave it a 5 on the spiced chili peppers. I wouldn't give it a 6. To me, 6 would have like a lot of spice, but then like BDSM and stuff like that. And this didn't have any BDSM in it. It just had, it did have the potential for some stuff with a knife, but it wasn't, I don't think it was meant for that intent, but it was just sort of there. So, but I absolutely love the story. It was high intensity, high drama, high spice. Very good book. I just absolutely loved it. This is a wonderful book, and there is a prequel series or a series on its own that this is sort of the continuation of, and I believe that's called the O'Malley's. Does it say? I believe it is the O'Malley's, and I don't know the first name in that book. I was looking. Usually they have an author's log. Oh, here it is, the O'Malley series, and I'm assuming that the first book is the marriage contract. Sometimes, for some reason, on the author's, like, what do they call this? The catalog of the author. They sometimes put books backwards, like the order of the books backwards, but I think the first one would be the marriage contract, and I might have to pick that up because I've loved this book so much. I saw some of Katee Roberts, like her new releases coming out for 2022. I don't know if there is a Scandalous Scions mentioned yet. I know she has the next in the series for Neon Gods, which comes out the 18th, which I'm putting on my birthday list. I'm putting Neon Gods and the sequel for my birthday. And I know there's that, I can't remember what the name, but it's like got the beautiful cover. It's like it's a monster romance. The Dragon's Bride, I think. That comes out in March, and I'm buying that. I'm buying it with the cover. Oh, I'm so excited for that book. I'm so excited for the cover. I'm so excited for the story. That looks like so much fun. And I absolutely love Katee Robert. I follow her on TikTok as well as Instagram and enjoy all of her content. She writes really well. The only other book that I've read by her was, I believe, Learn My Lesson. Does it have it on here? Learn My Lesson, which was from the Wicked Villains, which is sort of erotic retellings of Disney villains. And yeah, that was such it was a good story as well. I gave it, I think, 3 stars or 4 stars, and the only reason why was I wanted it to be set in that ancient Greek timeline, and it was set in modern, which if I had known that going in, I probably would have given it a 4 or 5. And that one to me was more of that 6-star kind of BDSM thing, which I don't really like when that's the whole plot of it. You know, I like it more with, like, it's like this, where it's got a good storyline with a lot of spice. And that's been a really cool genre I've seen, because fairly new for me as a reader, because when I was reading things sort of like this, it was more like erotica. If I'm thinking of like 50 Shades, because I actually read the 50 Shades of Grey books. I think I read all 3 of them within like a month, and I bought them before anyone else knew about them. I didn't read them as ebooks like before way anyone, but I saw it was mentioned in People magazine, and they had come out like the beginning of May, because I was going away for like my summer vacation from college, and I went to I had lunch with my mom, and or lunch or dinner with my mom, my aunt, and my grandma, my other aunt and grandma on my dad's side. And there was a Barnes and Nobles there, and I was like, I want to pick up this book. It sounds cool. It didn't mention anything of like erotica or anything. It was just like an English major, she meets a billionaire, romance. So that sounds like fun. And I read it. I was like, it's okay. The first one, 50 Shades of Grey, was a pretty good book, and the second one was, and the third one was, oof. I didn't like that one at all. I read 50 Shades free. I think I read it literally in an hour and a half, because I was just like, I could read about 6 pages a minute of the 50 Shades books, and that one was just like, it wasn't good. But I've loved that these books here have the high spice, but have a great storyline, great character development, just wonderful. Absolutely love them. So if you're looking for a good spicy read, a good dark romance or mafia romance, pick up The Bastard's Betrayal by Katee Roberts. I really absolutely loved it, and I think other people will too. So that is my review for this. This was a 6-star for me. I think I said it. So this will be probably featured later at the end of 2022. So in 364 days from now. Well, everyone, I hope you've had a wonderful day. Happy New Year. I hope you have lots of health and blessings this year. Don't forget to like, subscribe, as well as comment. If you have read this book, let me know what you thought of it. If you plan to read it, let me know as well. Have a great day, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye, everyone.